Hello guys, how are you doing? Let me trust you're doing good. Welcome once again to this video. Today we have this Lenovo to fix. This is Lenovo Thinkpad T14. Yes, and the problem with this computer is that it is not taking any power. Yes, the laptop is not taking any power. I don't know what is the problem. I think there's only one way for us to find out the issue with this laptop. That is to open it up inside. As you can see, the screen is a very good screen. However, it's having a lot of dust particles. So it means inside this keyboard or inside the motherboard, we have so many dust there. Because I can see from the look of the screen, I have so many dust. As always, first we try to power on, and there's nothing happening on the switch. We assume maybe the laptop is the battery is not having any power, so we are going to plug in the Type C. So this laptop needs the Type C, and then plugging in the Type C, there is nothing. I can't even see the LED blinking there, so that tells me the laptop is not taking any power. Yes, of course, there is nothing happening. So what is next for us is to open up the laptop inside and then see for ourselves what actually is happening. This laptop, you can remove the keyboard or you can remove the backlight first, whichever the way, because we are just here. So let's remove the keyboard. This is how you remove the keyboard for this laptop. First of all, you need to remove these two components here. What do you call this? And this is how you do it. Yeah, you want to clip it that way. Yeah, out. Once you have them out, next is to remove the screws which are inside here. Here you have some screws, and these are the easiest way to do the disassembling. Yes, whenever I am working on any motherboard or any laptop, when it is fully assembled, I try to make sure that we disassemble together, so that again at least you gain the skill of disassembling it. Then once you have this way, that now we are going to push the keyboard upward, you can see, and then the keyboard is out. You will push it that way. Once you unscrew these two screws which are inside here, you push the keyboard forward a little bit, then you push it back again this way, then you have the screws out. Before you remove it fully, then first you need to turn it this way, then disconnect from this side, and then you have the keyboard out. Sorry guys, my camera just got disconnected. Just give me a minute and we are back again. I'm sorry for that. Yes, my camera decided to run away from me. So once I remove the keyboard, let's go back again. Then at the back, we are going to unscrew all the screws which are at the back. And I can see it seems like all of them has been unscrewed. Yeah, they're very loose. So someone decided to help me to unscrew them. So let me just remove the back lid, and then the back lid is out. Then here we are inside into the laptop. Yeah, this is the motherboard for this laptop. Once we are in, I don't know, the camera is a bit lagging behind. It's lagging behind a bit. Let's see if there's a way we can fix it. I'd like to fix it a little bit. The camera is lagging behind, so let me just disconnect it, then have it back. I don't know whether it is fixed. Yes, I believe we fixed the issue of lagging behind. And then once we are inside, as you can see, the laptop is having so many dust. Can you see the dust here? Yes, this fan is very dusty. So this tells me this laptop normally overheats. A laptop which gets overheats, it's always having the problem to do with the shorted motherboard. What's not happening with my camera? Okay, now it is stable. Now it is stable. I'm sorry for that. So I was saying, whenever you see a computer which is having a lot of dust, can you see the fan? How dusty it is? Very dusty. This tells me this laptop probably got shorted because of these problems to do with the cooling system. As always, once you are inside into your laptop, the first thing you need to do is to disconnect the battery. Even before I disconnect the battery, first let me check whether I have any voltage going into the laptop. Because I have the battery installed, it is I can also check the voltages from the battery. Since the battery is installed, this is how you check it. Make sure at a probe into the ground, then have your positive probe into the positive line of the battery. And when you test it this way, it is having zero voltage. Why? Because I am sure this laptop got the battery got disabled. Yes, we do not have anything. Do not have anything. So let me disconnect the battery. I have the battery out. Once the battery is out, let me try and I'll plug into Type C. I'll plug into power adapter. I'll have the power adapter plugged in. I'll have the power adapter plugged in, and after that, we shall also test the voltage there. So the power adapter is plugged in, and there's nothing. Even the LED is not blinking. That tells me that there is no any voltage going into the motherboard. Let's check whether we have anything. Here, the main power line. The main power line, I have high voltage. So it seems like we have the voltage inside. There I have 3.3. Then here I should have the 5 voltage, but okay. And why I have what is the main power line? The main power lines are those inductors, and I can see I have only 5 voltage in the main power line, of which that is not good. You see, this power resistor here. There's a power resistor there. Let me just bring it closer to you. Just disconnect it. Here, I have a power resistor there. That power resistor is the one which is having the voltage going into the main power line. As you can see, the only voltage is going into the laptop is 5 voltage. That means the system, that is the power controller, is not controlling and it's not negotiating any voltage into the laptop. So as always, even before we go ahead and remove this motherboard from this casing, what we need to do is we need to do what's called physical inspection, and that is the first step. Once you access the motherboard, once you are able to see the motherboard, whichever the part of the motherboard, because now I'm able to see this particular side of the motherboard. So I have to do the physical inspection, and I mean a thorough physical inspection. Inside this piece of papers, whatever, I think there are some components. And then boom, I think I got a problem here. Can you see almost below the heatsink? There are some capacitors here which are not good. Eh? I do not think these capacitors are good because they seems corroded, they seems shorted. I don't know what the hell happening. Actually, it seems they are cracked. So I'll open up that heatsink and see actually what's wrong with that capacitor. Other than that, from this side, I do not think I have any other issue there. So guys, remember I told you, you see a lot of dust here. Yes, these particular things, these debris, these are the ones which generate a lot of heat inside the laptop. It creates overheating, and then in turn, you'll get what? You'll get the components getting shorted anyhow. Now, I think what I have to do first, let me remove, let me below the processor here, because you have that capacitor which is not good, seems not to be good. If that capacitor is shorted, the two things could be the outcomes. We could have two outcomes. Number one, which I am trying that could be the issue, the reason why this laptop did not power on. We are praying that this is the only problem. We do not have any short which was released into the CPU. So if this capacitor is shorted, I don't know. We haven't even tested it. I'm just saying because I can see that capacitor is not good. It's not in a good condition. So if that capacitor is shorted, the system could cut off power from the power control. That is the power controller back near the. I believe you have a TPS, not even the BQ. Even this BQ can cut off power from the main power. That's the first thing. That's why we are not receiving any voltage within the system because the system cut off power from the input line. Then number two, again this capacitor will get shorted and then release that short into the CPU. And then later again the power is shorted there. So we are just praying that this capacitor makes the system to cut power only from the input line. Can you see this capacitor? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Can you test whether we have a short there? Let us test whether we have a short there. Let us do it together. Make your meter your friend. As I always say, make sure your meter is your best friend. Your meter, put it in continuity mode. It is in continuity mode. Now, once I have the meter in continuity mode, ensure that it is reading 00. That is the baseline. So if the readings for this, you can use whichever the capacitors here because I believe they are from the same family. Can you see? It is reading 0 ohms. So the 0 ohms mean you have a short. What about this? This one, 63 ohms. So meaning this line is not shorted even though it's going to CPU. That's a good news. However, I do not know which particular MOSFET here is the one which is creating the short. But generally I have the short. Can you see 4 ohms? That's too low. In fact, still going, that is 0 ohms. So what are we going to do there? Here, I do not want to expose heat here because that place is where we have the CPU. So I do not want to heat up that particular area. So what I'm going to do, I can even use this. And in fact, this thing seems to be cracked. Let me just pull it out. And then I have the first one, the smaller one. It's the first one to come out. Very tiny one. This is how I removed it. I just knocked out with the tweezer. And then the next problem is this one. Yes, it is cracked at the corner. And this shot is very dangerous. This shot is very dangerous. As you can see, it is just slightly not far from the CPU. And in fact, again, that capacitor is the one which is serving the CPU. So, let's see. We still have a shot. We still have a shot. So it could be this other next brand capacitor there is also having the short. And you are going to do the same thing. You are going to do the same thing here this way. You are going to make it go away that way, and it is gone. Now we do not have any capacitor here. And then once we don't have any, because we don't have any, and actually here seems to there was a lot of corrosion. You can see. Now I do not have any capacitor there, and they were very bad capacitors. Then again, what next? What do we do again? Now I have removed the cracked capacitor. Let's also test that particular area where we still have whether we still have a short. Whoa. Can we see we have removed the short? You see? 156 ohms. 156 ohms. Yes. I do not have any short anymore. There is no short anymore. Now, can this laptop power on? because we've removed the short. Can it power on? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. There's only one way to find out. Let me remove the CMOS battery. I have the CMOS battery out. Then the power, let's plug it in. And then you have the LED there. You see? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And the CPU is getting hot. Hey, hey. I think the problem is fixed. Did you saw that, guys? In fact, you just have to be very keen while doing the physical inspection. Before I test this computer, let me just wipe out this whole thermopaste. We need to put fresh thermopaste there because already I can feel the CPU is getting hot. The CPU is getting hot. So I don't know. Can we replace that capacitor which we just knocked out? I do not think it is necessary. Yes, it is good to replace it, but since I do not, as I can see, this particular line is protected by other several capacitors. Yes, I had a capacitor here which was shorted. Now I removed that capacitor, then we remained with unshorted capacitor, which they can also protect this particular area. However, I don't know. No, I don't know. Let's just check something. I want to check something whether the which side is the ground, so that I'll know actually what to do. Yes, I'll know what to do. Let us have a check. This particular side is the ground. This particular side is the power line. This particular side is the ground. So it means the capacitors which we just knocked out. It means what I was testing to see whether is this side is the ground or the other side. Then I found out this particular side is the ground. So meaning inside here is the power line. So this is the power line, and this power line is also connecting these capacitors here. All of these five capacitors, all of them are connecting to this power line. So meaning the two capacitors which I just knocked out, the ones which were shorted, are also responsible for protecting this line. And this line is also, once I knocked out the two, I still have five more. So the five more can also do the job. Yes. So I don't care about this layer. This layer is the ground. And this ground area is badly damaged. Very corroded. Anyway, because it is the ground, I don't care. We have so many grounds. Yes, we have so many grounds. If it is insufficient, they can decide to use the screw holes or what? Or the ports. That is the USB ports. I normally like applying what's called a cross method application of the thermopaste. That's what I just did. Now, what next? I've applied the thermopaste. I told you make sure you apply fresh thermopaste. So wipe out the old ones. Wipe out the old ones. Very clean. The heatsink needs to be clean. Now the next thing to do is to boot back the heatsink. Now once we have the heatsink put back, close it up. Good. The heatsink is closed up. And then let me just brush it a little bit. There are a lot of dust particles here. The dust out. Next, fan connected. Once I have the fan connected, the next thing to do, let me also connect back the CMOS battery. CMOS battery connected. Then next is this one. That is the battery. Battery now. Battery is back. So once the battery is back, we need to screw the screws there. We need to do the screwing. We needed to do the screwing. We need to do the screwing. screwed. I thought somehow we might take more time fixing this computer, but you saw we didn't take more time. That we took about 20 minutes to fix it, and by that's only by being vigilant. Yes, while doing the physical inspection, I always say be vigilant. Yes, be keen, be keen. Yes, because that physical inspection can save you time and can make you diagnose uh, the laptop correctly. Yes, if you fail to do the proper physical inspection, you will end up doing what? You will end up misdiagnosing your computer. Once you misdiagnose your computer, that is it. It's like going to a hospital and then the doctor give you a wrong medication. Do you think you will survive? I don't think so. Same case with the laptops. If you misdiagnose them, obviously you'll end up causing more problems. You'll end up causing more problems than causing the solution. Once we've connected the connectors for the keyboard as before, you know what we did earlier when we were removing the keyboard? We first push it forward and then slide it backward. Now we shall start by sliding it up. Then once it is inside, then we also push it backward this way. We are just doing the opposite to what we did earlier. As you can see, the keyboard is installed. The keyboard is installed. Then from there, we screw the screws here. We have the screws there to be screwed. Once the screw is screwed, then this one. And I am closing it up, and we haven't even tested whether the laptop is displaying. Huh? Are we overconfident or are we what? And the good thing is, I know the problem with this laptop was the shot, and then that shot we removed it. A lot of dust particles on the screens. I believe this one came from the back, that is from the fan, from the casing, from the keyboard. All of them came from there. Now, once we have the laptop that way, the next thing to do is to power on the laptop and see whether we have results on the screen or not. Huh? Do we have results? Plugged in, LEDs blinking, the fan is spinning. Let's wait and see. Yes, I can feel the CPU is getting hot. The CPU is getting hot. Let's wait and see whether we have to display or not. Still I have an orange light. The CPU is getting hot. Yeah, that tells me this laptop is good. Restarting. Yes, I saw a very a little bit darkness in the screen. Can see we have a dark there. It is restarting for the second time. That's a good sign actually. When you see your laptop restarting, especially when after you disconnected all the power source, that is the battery, the adapter, the CMOS, everything. When you see the restarting for the second or third time, that tells you everything is okay. And then you have the Lenovo logo there. We have the display. It is asking us for the CMOS. We just do escape. Let's see whether it will load the windows. Let's see whether it will load the windows. It's just restarted again. The fan spins a little bit, the dark screen, and then I believe we shall have the display there, and we shall have the screen loading the windows. First escape, then have the windows. You see? Yes, that is it. That's loading the windows. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I believe you saw how we fix this. Out of thinking while doing the physical inspection. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Yes, and the laptop, we have the new laptop. This laptop actually belongs to the company, so we were to try and fix. If not fixable, it is to be returned back to be put in the store. Yes, but thank God we saved it. So this one it can boost it can help the workers there to do their job. You see? Yes, the laptop is good. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate. Is it charging? Okay, anyway, I believe it is charging because the problem we had, it was not having any relationship to do with the charging circuit. Yes. So that capacitor which we just knocked out, it was not having any issue to do with the charging. So I am sure this laptop is charging. So I do not want to keep you here more time. I just appreciate you guys. And please, in case you are interested in learning about laptop repairs, you can contact us. You can reach us out so that we can discuss the way forward. We do our training both online and on-site, that is offline. If you want to learn in the physical module, you are welcome. If you want the online module, you are also welcome. Just contact me so that we can discuss way forward. Thank you so much, guys. Please, if you haven't subscribed, I'm still pleading with you. Please, guys, subscribe so that we can grow together as a big family, and then we keep growing together and keep learning as one family. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next video. Goodbye.